Yeah, I wish I was a little bit taller. I wish I was a baller. I wish I had a girl.
Hi, welcome to High Vibe Honey. I'm your host, Gala Darling. And in this episode, we are talking about how to attract great people into your life. This is a reader submitted question or viewer submitted question. Someone asked me about this on Instagram the other day, and I thought, you know what? There's so much to say about this topic. I cannot respond to it in an Instagram comment. Let me make a video about it. So there's a quote from a poet named Miriam Hasna, and she said, "Don't try to force people to be on your wavelength." And I love this. And this is a staple piece of information when we're thinking about who we have in our lives and what role they play and how we feel about it. The truth about people is that they are either ready for you or they're not. And we cannot force them to be ready for us. We cannot force them to be on the same energetic playing field. We cannot force them to be as optimistic as we are. We cannot force them to be interested in self-development or self-improvement or investing in themselves in the way that we are. We really can't. And people can change over time, absolutely, but we cannot force them to do it. We can be our best selves and potentially influence people to make adjustments in their own lives, but we cannot make them do anything that they're not ready for. And the awful truth about it is that some people will never really be ready to do that. And you've probably met these people. They're in their 50s or 60s and they are absolutely still refusing to take responsibility for their lives. They do not have control over their energy. They do not have control over their thoughts, and they are just living in a place of misery all the time. These are not your people. They're not my people either. And in fact, at Vortex Fest last weekend, I was talking to the audience about how I have no complainers in my life. I really don't. And the reason for that is I don't accept complaining from myself, and so I don't accept it from the people around me either. We are solution focused. We are not interested in mining a problem for more misery. We are interested in how do I solve this and move on to bigger and better. I really believe that one of the greatest sources of pain in our lives is when we try to make people something other than what they are. And we play the if only game. If only he wasn't an addict. If only he took care of his shit. If only she cared about this or that. If only they didn't hurt me every single fucking time I spoke to them, right? But we have to look at who people really are and how they're really showing up and recognize that it's not our job to change them, fix them, inform them on things, educate them on things. I think if you're interested in the self-development space and you're interested in personal growth, you may have an element of codependency where you feel like you have to overfunction in relationships to make them be what you want them to be. And here's the plot twist. It doesn't fucking work. It never works. Either people are ready to join you on the bridge or they're not. And there is literally nothing you can do to transform that. And it's also not our job to educate people on things, to force them to learn things. Like maybe they have to learn things the hard way, and maybe they'll never learn them at all. Maybe that's not what they're here to do. And it's not our place or our job to dictate what they should be doing, what they should be learning, how they should be growing or up-leveling. It's not our business. Even though you may have the best of intentions for them, you may want them to be happy, maybe that's not what they're here for. Maybe they don't really want to be happy. So it's totally out of your hands. When we don't accept people for who they truly are, it hurts them as much as it hurts us. I know that you have been around people who couldn't accept you as you are, and I know how painful that is. To not really be seen, to have to pretend to be something other than what you are when you're around them. It is so soul crushing. And so we don't want to be doing that to other people either. We really want to see people for who they are with clear vision and just allow them to live their lives free of our meddling, helpful, whatever the fuck we call it, free of that. That's not our job. That's not why we're here. We're not here to change everybody else into who we think they should be. It's truly not our business. I want you to let that go and stop trying to force it. And I feel like as I'm saying this, there is immediately someone in your head that you can think of that you have been doing this dance with, where you're like, but if only. But that's not the case. That's not where they are. That's not what's going on. And so I want you to let it go and stop trying to force it. I'm telling you that when you let these things go that truly don't work, you will feel so much freedom. You will feel so much lightness. I literally just had a conversation with someone who is not the kind of person I want him to be and is not able to be that person. And it was painful to have that conversation, but I feel so much better right now. I feel like I just put down a backpack full of bricks because it's like, you're great, but I feel better now that I've told the truth and I've walked away. Even though it was painful, even though it kind of sucked. It is these courageous conversations that change our lives. When you're not willing to have those courageous conversations, those uncomfortable conversations, nothing shifts and you just feel resentful, bitter, heavy, and pissed the fuck off. And your life can be so much better than that. So we're always experiencing this in life, right? We're meeting all these people and some of them are like ready to join us on this fantastic voyage, as Coolio would say, and some people are not. But the world is really full of magical people, and we discovered that at Vortex Fest. The room was 300 people who were just so high vibe. And after the event, a couple of days after the event, I went to get a tattoo, and some of the tattoo artists who had been tattooing at the event were there, and they were like, we have never been around such happy, excitable, high vibe people. Like, it blew their minds. And the world is full of people like this. They're everywhere. But the secret to attracting great people in your life is you have to turn up the volume on your own life so much that it's like almost deafening. You have to turn up the volume, which means you have to take big risks. You have to have big vision. You have to push yourself out of what you think is comfortable and what you do all the time and like do these things that blow your own mind. And those amazing people will be attracted to you like a magnet. And also when you do that, the people who are clearly not a match with you will be so clearly not a match with you. They will just fall off. It'll be so obvious that you won't be able to ignore it. So Bill Murray famously said, be so good they can't ignore you. And this is kind of the life motto or philosophy that I want you to start living by. This is the same concept. I want you to make your life so magical, so luscious, so vibrant that you can't help but attract these people. Because here's the thing, when you're doing things that are wild and exciting, people want to be involved. They want to be where you are, and you are probably not doing wild, vibrant things in your living room by yourself. Wild, vibrant things require you to be in the world. They require you to interact with people. They require you to build new relationships. And that's when you meet new people and your life expands and becomes so much more magical. It's time for you to do much bigger things with your time. It's time for you to stretch your wings. And it's time for you to ask yourself, what could I do that would be truly radical? How can I blow my own mind today? And when you start doing those things, I promise the people you've always wanted to meet will just show up. They'll just show up. But the thing is that until you start blowing your own mind, you'll be like, where are the fucking people? Because living a great life means you have to really act. And when you do, people will just flock to you. They can't help but want to be around you. But the payoff is that you have to be taking the risks first in order for those people who also take risks to show up in your life. They're not going to know how amazing you are if all you do is scroll through Instagram and sit in your bedroom. You have to be active in the world where the other amazing active people are. This is the secret. So I hope that helps you. I was just talking to Madeline about this the other day. We were both like talking about how good our love lives were going and how excited we were about everything. And we were also in the middle of doing like this insane event called Vortex Fest, where we were both being challenged to step way beyond what we had ever done before. Madeline's managing a team of like 4 people and fucking killing it. I'm managing a team of like 10 people and speaking on stage and wearing a nude body stocking. Like, it was a whole thing. We both completely surpassed our own expectations on that day of what we were capable of, how easy it could be, how gracefully we could do it, and how fucking beautifully it would come off. And when we did that, like our love lives and our friendships and everything just like exploded ecstatically. This is not a coincidence. There are no coincidences. So this is the secret. You have to turn up the volume on your life. You got to be out there. You got to be in the arena, taking the risks, getting blood on your face sometimes. Like, this is what it's about. And there's nothing that feels better than taking those risks and like noticing what you're capable of, which we talked about in last week's High Vibe Honey. But when you do that, like the double reward is that you attract the kind of people you've always wanted to be around, that you've always wanted to meet, that you were like, I don't even know if these people exist. Fuck yeah, they do. But they can't find you unless you turn your light up. So that's what I want you to do. So now we're going to do some tapping around attracting great people and having the courage to turn up our own light so that we can just beam them in like moths to a flame. So drink some water, get really hydrated. We will start on the top of the head and just repeat after me. I really want to attract great people into my life. But maybe in order to do that, I need to stretch myself. Maybe it's not about them at all. It's about me taking bigger risks and becoming the best version of myself so that I radiate my light so much that amazing people just can't ignore me. Maybe when I'm feeling lonely, or like I haven't met my people yet, I need to ask myself, how can I stretch my wings? How can I do something different and radical? How can I create something in the physical world that will attract these kinds of people to me? Because I know that when I take responsibility, everything in my life changes quickly. So why is it that my friendships seem to have escaped this logic? I know that if I go to places where amazing people hang out, I will meet them. It's really that simple. So even though in the past, I've found meeting great people difficult, I have to take an honest look at myself and ask myself questions like, how was I showing up and being amazing? Was I just staying in my house? Have I been playing it safe? Have I been doing things that amazing people would find amazing? Or have I just been bumming around, doing what I'm used to, and going to the same old places? I know that I can meet fantastic people if I am active in my life, if I am pushing my own boundaries. And so today I commit to that with my whole body. Today I commit to increasing my energy and upgrading my vision so that I don't just meet great people, but I feel really good about myself too. And so it is. Okay, take a deep breath in, hold it at the top and let it go. That was beautiful. I hope that like gave you the kick in the butt that I intended it to give you, because it's so easy to just sit around and be like, doo-doo-doo, where are the people? It's like, well, they're outside of your house and they're probably not in like a nightclub. They're probably somewhere else doing something amazing, creating something, collaborating, like learning, teaching, whatever. They're out there in the world, but we have to go and be active in the world in order to find them. So today, I want you to leave a comment and tell me, where could you find some of these amazing people? What is it that you're really into? And where do those people naturally hang out? Are they at TED Talks? Are they at self-development seminars? Are they at pole dancing workshops? Where the fuck are they? Are they at like car meetups? Like, where are they? And I want you to give me at least 3 examples of places that you can find these people. And then think like, okay, so how do I get involved with them? What do I have to do? Can I volunteer? Can I take a class? Do I need to buy a ticket? How do I do this? It's honestly so much simpler than you think, but we just have to change the way that we think about things. We have to stop expecting people to just show up when we're not doing anything. And we have to think about, how do we prove to the universe that I am a serious player and that I am deserving of these kinds of contacts and connections, that I have something to contribute to these friendships? Because it's a give and take. We have to be willing to give of ourselves in order to attract these amazing people. And I know that you can do it. We just have to ask ourselves different questions. So I hope this was helpful for you. I will see you next week. I hope you go out there and meet someone fucking amazing this week. That is my intention for you. Leave a comment and let me know how you go.